Defining moments. Learn more right after this.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome to Community Watch. Greg.
Doc.
I'm trying to follow you.
It's one of those family shows.
Okay.
We got to change it
All
up
right.
a little bit right now.
So I know we have an author on the show today.
Correct.
That's all I know. You have to
Correct.
tell me some more.
No, I'm going to let her tell you her story, but a young lady I'm very proud of, have dealt with some adversity in her life, but keep, in my belief, redefining herself and never gives up. And we know we run into a lot of people, me and you, who always have an excuse, always have reasons why they can't do things. But so it's good to see someone that deals with adversity and still pushing through it.
Now, this may be a total coincidence, but I kind of noticed that our guest's last name is Shropshire.
Yes, sir.
Total coincidence?
No.
Oh.
It's my niece, and actually I find her very inspirational because, like I said, she's dealt with some things and she just keeps moving forward. And so I just thought it would be great to have on our show because there's a lot of young people out here who are dealing with challenges, have dealt with challenges, and sometimes they don't always push forward or push through it. And sometimes I think it's just good for them to see there are people who are experiencing things, some worse than you, but they are pushing through it, so you can do it as well. Yeah. So it's an inspirational show.
Well, I'm all for that. And we will be joined by our guest, Kamesha Shropshire, right after this. Do not go away. It's going to be a great show. We'll be right back.
My college offers classes that meet my educational and career goals.
With opportunities outside of the classroom.
Where the faculty know me by name.
My college can prepare me for my career.
I can earn an associate's degree and transfer credits to a bachelor's.
My college is a state college within the university system of Georgia.
My college offers courses that fit my schedule.
It's where excellence begins.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are GHC, Georgia Highlands College.
Welcome back to Community Watch, and we are thrilled to have with us today author Kamesha Shropshire. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Not just an author, even though she has some books, but she does some other things as well. She's a personal trainer and some other things. I'm just saying.
So, I kind of feel like I'm the only person that doesn't know everything today.
I'm not even sure what all Kamesha is doing. That's why I want to come on the show.
So you just wanted an excuse to talk to her for a minute?
Yes.
Okay. How are you?
I'm doing great.
We are going to let you talk.
Okay.
Well, I know the author part.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something? How long have you been working on these books?
I wrote this book in 2015, last year. In 2009, I've always sang professionally. And in 2009, I was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome. It's it's a paralysis that runs from your feet to your brain. So I was paralyzed and in a wheelchair for over a year and a half. And the doctor said it was a chance that I wouldn't walk again or be able to have children. So after a while, with my family and friends, I learned to walk again. And I had gained so much weight, probably around like 50 or 60 pounds. So people had already been following me for my music, and they would message me and ask me, like, how did you lose all the weight? I was about to give up until I saw your story, because it's in the same family as MS. And so I was like, well, I could help people. You know, I can get paid for this. So I became certified in exercise therapy as a personal trainer, youth fitness, and a nutrition specialist. And so I started my own business, my fitness business in 2013. And so once I did that, I got pregnant the same year and I had my son. And after I overcame like everything the doctor said that I wanted to go and just, motivate people not to give up, because everything that they said I wasn't going to be able to do as far as walking and having children, I was able to. So that's when I wrote the 30 Days to a Better Me. It's a self-help book, a consciousness cleanse, and it also has a 21 days of fitness, because, you could look great on the outside, but if your inside's not together, it doesn't make a difference. So
some of us have it in the opposite way.
Well, I can help you, So with this book, I was able to travel to Canada in February. And there I was inspired. I saw all the different books, and there were people that was looking for books, for their children. So I was like, well, I could just, write my own. And I've always drawn. I've been drawing since I was a child. So I was like, well, I could just write and, illustrate my own book. Mm-hmm. So it's called Mommy Said I Can Be Anything I Want to Be. And it's a boy version and also a girl version. And not only is it a book, a regular book, it has activities in the back as well, because education is important. So not when you read, it's something that the parents and the kids can do together.
Now you gave us a tremendous amount of information in about a minute and a half. But
I've learned, that you have to go get it over with.
Well, now we need to back up a little bit, because
okay. Now you have some questions.
All right, so all of this has happened since 2009?
Mm-hmm.
2009 was the year you got sick?
Yes, I've had 3 relapses since then where I've had a therapy. When I was pregnant, it was too much on my body. So I had to go back to therapy and, learn to walk again. So it's happened to me over again. So, but yeah.
So, all right, so you got sick in 2009.
Right.
And so that was 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you were in a wheelchair for a year.
And a half.
Mm-hmm. So we're talking 2010,
I couldn't bathe myself, feed myself like people had to help me do, my family.
Yeah. All right, so was it a gradual getting well, or did it just
Gradually.
Go away? So
no, it's still, it's no cure for it.
Right, so it's not gone.
Yeah,
it's just
so I'm not 100%.
So remission kind of a
thing.
Well, I'm just trying to think, because you have done a tremendous amount in a very short time.
I have a great support system. Like my family, we're not the kinds, where you give up or they're going to let you give up, so you have to keep going.
All right, so maybe 2011, you get out of the wheelchair.
I get out the wheelchair, and I just slowly, I went from the wheelchair to my crutches to my cane. Mm-hmm. And in 2012, that's when I didn't have any assistance. And so I started working, and then I went, did the daycare work and stuff like that. And I always wanted to work for myself. So that's when I started my fitness business.
All right, so you went from not being able to walk to a fitness business in a year and a half? I don't know, it just seems like
2 or 3 years.
I mean, that alone, if that was the only piece of your story, that's pretty impressive. Well, let me ask, as you began to go through this personal fitness experience, I guess, learning how to walk and getting stronger, did you go to trainers or physical therapists, or what did you do?
At one point I didn't. It was just my family and my friends, we would help, because at the time, young, and I wasn't thinking that I've always been healthy, so I didn't have any insurance. So I had to either choose to pay for my doctor visits or do the personal training, and I had to do the doctor visits and pay for my medicine. So I just did it with my family. And then once, I was able to work again in 2012-13, I hired a personal trainer. And that's when, like, I was able to, I was gradually getting better, but I was a whole lot better, so that's what really like inspired me to even get into fitness, because the way that they helped me when I was, trying to gain strength.
Yeah. So at a certain point then you go through that experience, you get a trainer and you begin to see, I guess, how you could do this as well. And then you went back and got certified. And then wrote a book.
Right. Because I do motivational speaking. I try to do everything,
She's a Shropshire.
So when I was doing the motivational speaking, you can speak everywhere, but you need a product. So I knew that I needed something. I mean, my story was good, but I needed something to leave, once I left. So that's where the book came. And I want to continue to do children's books. The self-help book was just that.
Yeah.
But
well, we'll get to those. We'll get to
easy.
those.
Okay.
I'm still stuck on this part.
Inspiration.
Well, tell me a little bit about the fitness book.
Well, it's not a fitness book. The
fitness. There's fitness in the title
fitness
somewhere.
It's at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's just the last part of the book, just
Okay.
the plan. It's a consciousness cleanse. Like every day, it's not a book that you just read in one day. It teaches you discipline. Every day it's 30 days. Like day 1, it tells your story, and then day 2 it goes on doubts and fears, and then some day insecurities, goals. It talks about everything, just so because a lot of times we can't forgive ourselves for our past, so it hinders us from being a better us. So the book, every day it talks about something different for you to to move on and try to be a better person.
Now, are these things that you developed and used during your own period of recovery?
Yes, sir. It's things that I go through still today. Just forgiveness, or just my insecurities from being paralyzed. Just it's day-to-day things that everybody goes through, and I just use its and pieces of my story to help inspire and like what I did to go through those things. Because
you still have good days and bad days, and so I know some days you're moving about, you're more versatile in your movements, and then some days you seem like you're struggling, and so I can see developing that ability to work through that, and talking on that. One of the reasons why I wanted Kamesha to come on, because Kamesha she was always young, known for her singing, prodigy almost, had a lot of opportunities. She had opportunities. I mean, some of the people she could have been background singers for, or a large, world known. But she decided to go her own route. And the fact that when this disease hit her, I mean, it changes things. Because you go from being young, vibrant, and healthy to now you're paralyzed. And some people don't recover, and definitely don't recover as well as you have. And now to share that, I think is what's important, is that, not only did I go through this, but now let me help you for other people. And so it's been very impressive, because a lot of young people not only young people, but a lot of people, period, just don't recover well. And that's really, I think, a testament to what you've done is that you've recovered, and you've done it pretty well. But I'm biased, I'm going to go ahead and say.
Well, I almost feel like, forcing her to be on the show is preventing her from writing another book. I mean, we're taking her away from her schedule.
Well, she's still trying to sell these.
Yeah,
Well, we're going to take a break here in a minute, and I want to hear something about your fitness. Is it 21 days, you said?
21 days of fitness.
So I want to hear a little bit about that, and then we'll talk about the children's books. And you are your own corporation, apparently.
International.
Yeah. It's the Shropshire thing, obviously. So we will be back with a lot more. Do not go away. Right after this, we'll be back.
Hi, may I please have an application?
Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We're having a fascinating conversation with Kamesha Shropshire, who is coincidentally related to my co-host, and who has written 10, 15 books.
One day I'll be able to say
I'm
that.
sure. Maybe by the end of the week, I think, possibly.
Yeah, it took me around maybe 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, the books were complete. But it took me maybe like around a week to write it and do the illustration.
You're hurting me now. I mean.
This is what I do.
Well, tell us a little bit about the fitness program that's part of your book, 30 Days.
I have a meal plan that lets you know what you need to eat, and I also, because I have workouts that I actually took pictures myself. I'm giving instructions so no one has excuses. Because I have a lot of clients, if you just give them a packet, they be like, well, I don't know what that workout is. So I have the pictures. I have the food, what you don't need to eat, what you need to eat, different ideas, different recipes and menus. So no one has, an excuse not to be able to do it. And it's something that everyone can do, because still I'm not able physically to do everything that, the next trainer would be able to do. So.
Well, now, did you develop this after you went to had your own trainer experience and picked out things that worked well with you? Or,
Yes.
how did you put that together?
Like I said, I started training in 2013. So, within that time, I've learned what's the most effective workout and what you need to eat. Because plus I've been through this journey myself. Because a lot of times you have trainers that's been fit all their lives. And however, I have it when I became paralyzed, I gained all the weight. So I had to learn how to work out, learn exercises, what to eat, what not to eat. So I just, from experience.
Well, that's impressive. So at this point, you work as a trainer.
I'm a motivator.
It varies by week. Facebook, she may be doing speaking this week.
Well, I'm not. I recently I have my own office, so I'm not working from my home anymore. I have a location where people could come and meet. So with that being said, I have everything that whatever you need to do, I can do it.
Well, I'm surprised you have an office instead of an entire building, but I guess that's
I need some time. That's why I'm trying to sell these books.
Now I wanted. Briefly, because I saw the pictures and I saw that, but I know you recently traveled to Canada. What was that like, and what was that about?
Actually, a lady that saw my book and invited me there. So it's one of the largest urban book festival in Toronto. So when I went there, it was so many different authors that I was kind of scared. Am I gonna be able to sell some books? But I was able to. I had this big old banner that I had bought, so it kind of stood out in my story, because on my banner it has I take pictures Michael Gregg could tell you. I post every day on Facebook. He used to always tell me, you making money off Facebook yet? Because I used to post so much. So I made sure when I started making some money, I inboxed him and I said, Uncle Greg, I'm finally making some money off Facebook. So I was able to sell my books, and they invited me back to do a fitness class in July. But there's so many things that I'm trying to do. I hadn't decided if I'm going to do that yet.
Energy, huh? At that age.
All right, the kids' books. Tell us. Now, you told us briefly at the beginning of the show, but really, what motivated you with those?
Really, because I never had dreams of being an author. I read self-help books. I read what can help me at the moment, or I try to do everything. Like I can build websites, I can do flyers, graphics, anything I can do. But if I don't know how to do, I teach myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always liked to draw or whatever. So when I saw, all the different book authors, and I wanted to do it, and I titled it Mama Said I Could Be Anything. Mommy said I could be anything I want to be, because I want people to teach their kids at a very young age, that they can do anything. Like some of my friends, I've always thought it was normal, that your parents tell you could be whatever you want. Mm. But some parents aren't like that. So I've learned as I got older, that we need to start them at a young age. And now that I have a son, I want him to know early that he can do whatever he wants to do if he puts his mind to it and work hard.
Yeah. So the son came before the books, or the books came before the son?
No, the books came after my son.
Okay. So your son kind of inspired you to do this.
Yeah, he inspires me because I have to, get some money for him. So, yeah, he's my biggest motivation.
Well, how do people get these? Because I know they're wanting them now. I mean, I can just sense it.
You can get them on Amazon. All of them are on Amazon, or you can go to my website, Miss Kamesha, MSKAMESHA.com, and get the books.
All right, and we'll give that information again at the very end of the show. So what are you working on now?
Well,
yes.
I do have, Mommy Said I Could Be Anything I Want to Be t-shirts.
Yeah.
I had bought me a t-shirt machine because because I said that because I just, it's cheaper if I just do it myself, so I bought me a t-shirt machine. And so I'm doing the shirts for this, and I also have a Mother's Day edition where it has, the books are coming from, it's called Destin's Collection. Destin is my son's name, and we named him that, of course, because I wasn't supposed to have kids, so Destin to be here. And so it's called Destin's Collection, and it's gonna be with children's books, family clothing, it has the Mother's Day, My Mother's Better Than Yours, those type of shirts or whatever. So I do have that, and then when Father's Day come out, I'm gonna have something for the daddies. I'm trying to dibble and dabble, but still motivate at the same time. Everything is gonna be inspirational. It's not gonna, get off that.
So it's a clothing line right now.
Well, it's not a clothing line. It's just a few shirts.
Well, you say that. You say that.
But I am curious, Commissioner, that in doing all of this, because you make it sound easy, but it was a lot of dark days in that. I mean, it's still a struggle.
It's still a struggle because I have to, my mom gives me some change sometimes, but I have to fund everything. So I have all these ideas, and I was talking to a lady because I was like, I feel like I'm all over the place. And she said, well, just because God may give you an idea doesn't mean you have to do it then. Just write it down and put a date by it. So I have a long list of things that I do want to do, but I've started to, I have to do whatever makes sense. I had someone come and do me a budget for the whole year. So now I'm looking at the dollar amount that I've been spending and stuff. So I'm slowly, surely just kind of narrowing it down to certain things. But it's a struggle because you have to, financially, it's a sacrifice. Because now I'm not able to do, sometimes everything that I want to do, I have to make a choice. My business is my baby, so it's really a struggle.
And what about your health? So how are you doing?
It's day to day. Some days I wake up and I'm good because I still have an autoimmune disorder. But people don't care, so you got to keep it going. And really, because even when you're in the hospital, everybody comes to see you when you're in the hospital, but when you go home, they don't. But you still are dealing with the same thing. You're just at the hospital to be treated. So I've just learned to, keep it moving. My mom has lupus, so we kind of each other's strength. She might wake up in the morning, her nose is bleeding. So if my legs are aching, I'm thinking, well, I can't, be crying about my legs, and she over there feeling like that. So, Yeah.
So
you're used to that, right? That kind of attitude, that kind of mentality, just keep it moving.
Yeah.
You have to.
You All right, so right now, you do work with some clients as a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone is interested in working with you, how do they find you? Through the website?
Through my website.
Okay.
Everybody can go through the website for everything.
You actually had a contract in Rome.
I did.
Prior, huh?
Mm-hmm. At the Rome Health Department. So where I've done a fitness class there. And now I'm just going wherever. Like, I'm trying to pick up more contracts. Mm-hmm. Just have to be worth it, you know, both ways. And I went to a daycare to read my book to kids and like did activities. So I'm just trying to do whatever I can.
Well, and you have an office.
I have an office.
Is that in
It's in Douglasville, Georgia.
Oh, that's a long way off. Well, from here. I mean,
yeah, but she doesn't live here.
You know, so you live closer to that area. So
I live 15 minutes from Douglasville.
All right. And so are there additional books coming?
Yes.
I don't even know why I asked that question.
Yes, it's some coming. You know, I haven't picked the title yet. But when I went to the daycare, I was with school-age kids. And at first I thought that this book would be, you know, maybe around 3 to 6 years old. But the older kids were enjoying it. Mm-hmm. So they asked me, they were like, can you write a book about being different and being bullied? So that's my next book. It's going to be something around that. Yeah.
Well, you really ought to consider a memoir. I mean, telling your story.
This lady that I speak to her mentoring group a lot, and she tells me that all the time. And I'm gonna do it one day. I just feel like I'm not finished yet. Like it's something else that I really supposed to do, like that moment. And then I don't know. I just don't feel like I've done enough.
Maya Angelou wrote 3, so I mean,
yeah, you
don't have to be finished.
You're right. Well, maybe that's next. Now, don't keep adding.
Well. You have an amazing story, and I know you're just beginning, so you're going to have to come back with us periodically and catch us up with what's happened in the last 2 days or however.
Yeah.
We're coming up on a break. When we come back, we will give you the contact information that you need to get these books for yourselves and maybe hire Ms. Shropshire as a trainer if you're down the Douglasville area. So stay with us.
Wait,
we'll be right back.
I can do anybody. I'm virtual too.
Anyone.
Yeah.
So stay with us.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been having a fascinating conversation with Ms. Shropshire, Kamesha Shropshire, who is an author, who is a self-help author and children's book author and a trainer, and I can't even list the things. Singer. We didn't even get into that.
We didn't even get into that.
If you want to buy these books, you can go to Amazon and get them, or you can go to her website, which is MsKamesha.com, is that right? MsKamesha.com. And you can find out about the books and the training and just everything else there, right? So thank you for being with us this week.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you all next time on Community Watch.